Gronk not known for these dirty hits. What should the penalty be for this?
He'll get a fine. It'll be
not a suspension.
No, it won't be suspended because there's no history here. Right? When you think about guys in the National Football League who get suspended for on-field behavior, it's when it's repeated on-field behavior, things that they've done to run afoul of the league year over year over year. Gronk's not that guy. I mean, he's a fun-loving star stud. He gets frustrated, and that's why this kind of came out. He was clearly fouled on this play with Tre'Davious White. He grabbed him the whole way across the field, pulled him, pushed him a couple times, and so he took it out on him by suplexing him or going down on the field on him. And the problem is, and the reason this feels egregious, is because White had a concussion and had to leave the game afterwards. He'll get fined $20-something thousand, and then on appeal it'll be $15,000, and it's nothing.
We've seen little pileups before, but what stood out about this to me was he kind of drove his arm into his head and did send him into the concussion protocol. So if I'm just judging the incidents, for instance, this is much more serious to me than Crabtree and Talib, who are sort of skirmishing. Yeah, it's embarrassing, but this is much more dangerous. Well, why not a suspension like that one?
Because of the history. Crabtree and Aqib Talib had a history. I mean, I don't think they were warned before the game last weekend that they shouldn't get into a fight, but they did. And the same thing. He pulled his chain, and they started throwing fisticuffs. Even when it calmed down, they started fighting again on the sideline. Gronk is not this player. Yes, it looks egregious in a vacuum, but what the league always does is judge over a length of time. Vontaze Burfict is the perfect example of a guy who could do something less benign, less malignant than this, and get suspended because of his history.
You know, people will bring this up, though. They'll say, listen, Rob Gronkowski is playing by a different set of rules than everyone else in the league, and that's usually what I was talking about, crushing the Bud Lights on the party bus. People allow him to be the sort of knucklehead, sort of friendly.
Off the field.
Off the field. Usually on the field, we've never seen anything like this. So, yes, there is no history. But to the idea that Gronk is somehow, there's a double standard between him and every other player in the league. I
don't think there's a double standard. I think that Gronk does things the right way on the football field, and he's fun-loving off of it. It's his brand. It's on purpose. It's not, I mean, he probably is this way to an extent, but it's promoted because that's what he wants his brand to be. And you see it with everything that he does with his social media and everything else. But on the field, he's been the consummate professional and champion. And I think that's how he gets judged. And that's what the league ultimately judges him on, is how does he react and behave as a football player, not all the things that go on off the field.
Do you think there's any chance he's perceived a little bit differently post this sort of move on the field?
I mean, maybe, unless if he does something again, I'm sure, but he won't all of a sudden have a dirty narrative about him.